Cultural Society. So this Research Culture Society is a government registered scientific research organization. That the society is working for research community at national as well as international level to impart quality and non-profitable services. The society has successfully organized 100 plus conferences, seminars, symposiums, and other educational programs at national as well as international level in association with various educational institutions. So that's all about the main organizing committee behind this 2 days international conference. Now, let me introduce to all of you the another body who's associated, who has contributed a lot in bringing this conference to all of us our reach. So that's none other than the Warsaw University of Life Sciences Management Institute, Poland. Is one of the largest and most prestigious universities in Poland. It educates nearly 18,000 students in 38 study programs, including 8 taught in English, from medicine, landscape, architecture, to economics and computer science to tourism, etc. It employs almost 1,200 academic teachers and offers a modern campus and excellent learning conditions. The campus is located in the southernmost district of Warsaw, Poland. The campus has a historical part with an 18th century palace and a new part where most of the faculty buildings and dormitories are situated. The Management Institute was established in 2019, and the research developed in this institute is related to management, trust, knowledge, management, and IT. And the last but not the least, let me introduce the one more association associated with it. That's the Scientific Research Association. It's a registered organization associated with scientific research and development activities that provides platform and support for various educational events. So this is all we have about this today's conferencing. So once again, I welcome all of you to this 2 days conference. This is from my side. Yes, Patel sir.
And non-profitable services. Our members are scholarly educationists from various universities and institutes of repute. Here the faculties, research scholars and students interested in the area of research are given guided work can contribute to the betterment of our present and future generations. Research Culture Society seminars and develop different themes. He has organized 100 plus educational level in association with different educational institutions. Also published selected research papers as journal special issues and book proceedings. Society is running international level referred ISSN and books publication with ISBN. Educational institutions, colleges, universities are being welcomed for Memorandum of Understanding and organize events. Society is promoting and sponsoring educational events as well as publishing research work in collaboration. The Society also offers membership. The journals associated with Research Culture Society are and with high impact factor. Society journals are publishing research papers, articles in all major fields and subjects related to sciences, health science, agri, commerce, management, social sciences, arts, humanities, education, law and life skills. Journal identification with a nominal processing charge. Research Culture Society also provides print and online book publications with ISBN. Society invites book publication in all study subjects and categories. Thesis converted into book and conference proceedings publication also available. Research Culture Society lectures on soft skills, communication skills, personality development, behavior improvement, human resource development, career development, gender, environmental issues, and improvement, etc. in different institutions, colleges, days, and schools. The Society bestows excellence and achievement awards in different categories as US Awards, SRA Awards. Thank you. For further details,
Let's begin with our first. Hello.
Your voice is cracking. I think there is a network glitch at your side.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Hello.
Now it is. Yeah, it is bit audible. Yes, sir. But still, it's not. The voice is not coming properly.
Yes, your voice is audible properly, so we can begin.
Okay, so I can
Our
call
first
the
speaker.
participants. Yeah. So can I call the
Yes,
participants? Okay. Okay. Okay.
yes,
Okay.
our speakers
So
are ready.
yeah. So first of all, as I wanted to just tell you that the overall PPT presentation per participant should not take more than 7 to 8 minutes, and then you will be provided 2 minutes extra for
This is
question.
inaugural
Yeah.
session keynote session. This is a key. These are our main keynote speakers, ma'am. Please open that file, inauguration file. Someone's background voice is coming.
So, yes, first of all, yeah, I would like to invite Professor Johanna. So let me introduce Professor Johanna to all of you. So Professor Johanna works as a full professor at Warsaw University of Life Science. She is the director of the Management Institute, and she is a professor at the University of Warsaw in Finland. She is well recognized in Poland and abroad for her expertise in management issue, knowledge management, and trust management. She has published over 200 papers and manuscripts, and she has been a part of many scholarship endeavors in the United States, Slovakia, Taiwan, UK, and Hungary. She has actively participated in presenting research results at various international conferences. Currently, she serves as the Deputy Editor-Chief of the Management and Production Engineering Review. She is an associate editor of the Journal of Computer Information Systems and the Journal Export Systems with Application. She also has successfully supervised various PhD students, leading them to completion of their degrees. And she has also served as an external reviewer for several PhD students in Poland, India, and Finland. So it's a matter of proud to have you among all of us. I welcome you.
Yes, yes, meeting is already started. Yes, okay.
Over to you.
Thank you very much. Dear ladies and gentlemen, it's a great pleasure to me to be with you this day. Thank you all attendees of this international conference. This year the conference is organized by the society, but also by my management institute. I'm now on the campus in Warsaw. And the theme of the conference is very actual and worth to discussing. It has a broad scope and great relevance in the context of the current scenario of the situation in the world during the COVID-19 pandemic. The conference will shed light on the consequences of the coronavirus and will point out new challenges in the business environment. I would like to take opportunity to thank you all for contributing to this conference, and I look forward to meaningful presentation, discussions, and collegial networking. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for your precious time. Thank you. So next, I would like to take this opportunity to invite our next speaker, that is Professor Markus Lohner. He's a Faculty of Commerce and Social Work, Westphalia University of Applied Sciences, Germany. Professor Markus is Professor for Business Administration and Service Management. He's from Germany. He was 20 years investor relation manager for various companies such as Atlanta AG, and thereof 9 years in United States. The last year, he was researching in Asia and Latin America. His special lectures are e-business and international management, service management, and controlling finance. His latest research projects are digital trust and teamwork, both financed by European Union and state of Lorie-Saxony. His own research is about e-learning and compliance. The current special research project is the global study, Digital Trust and Institution at the Workplace, with the support of 30 professors and researchers in 13 languages from 18 countries. So it's a matter of great proud to have your presence on this 2 days international conference. So we invite you, for this first day on international conference. I welcome you. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much. You can hear me, and see my presentation slides?
Yes, sir. We can see the slides.
Yeah. So thank you very much for having me. My name is Professor Markus Lohner, as I was introduced, from Westphalia University of Applied Sciences, and I would like to briefly touch on our research program, Digital Trust and Intuition at the Workplace, and also our supply chain management approach. So first we had a study on compliance management. We had a second study on e-learning, these 14 states of Germany about e-learning. And then we have 2 European financed projects, Digital Trust and Teamwork, and an ongoing project right now, Intuition Types. It's called RIA. Based on that, we did this international follow-up study with 30 professors and researchers. And I don't know how we made it, but we got 5,570 employees from over 18 countries together and developed several studies based on that. The purpose is to answer the question of what influences employees' digital trust and intuition at the workplace. This is a niche at the workplace that we found that has not been researched yet. We make newly created models, we're testing different instruments, we do theory articles, some detailed studies, and all in the multicultural sample. We're supporting young researchers in publications, and actually the last 2 days at another conference, we had 8 presentations from young researchers. This is our basic model. We developed it with Professor Dave Marshall from the Silliman University on the Philippines. It's a rather comprehensive model. We published it in the International Journal of Scientific Engineering and Sciences. And you see, this is the whole model of the digital trust. And the red circle, you see the part of intuition. So that's for right now, just a small part, but there is more to come. This is our core model on digital trust. It's about people, technology, and processing data. We tested it, the questionnaire that we developed in a retest reliability and internal consistency survey questionnaire on digital trust in the workplace and intuition. And it looks like that is a very solid instrument. So all of the internal consistency, the Kronbach alpha are all very high loaded. So that's very good. And we also published that here in the Solid State Technology Journal. What we're working on right now also is intuition. That's our basic model. And here we have a very special approach. Yeah, this is about different intuition types that we assembled. And I can explain you in more detail in a second what we did there. What we're working on right now that's actually very new is the supply chain model. So we have in this questionnaire supply chain approach, we can measure the intuition and digital trust in supply chains. And what we did at another conference in the United States just last month was the food supply chain, on agriculture, production, and services. Let's go into one detail to show you what we do here. For example, this is an extended model with Professor Chetin and Professor Palishkevich. I think she's presenting or presented already. And here we work on the model and extended it for company environment and made it a little bit more precise. Like I said, it's based on technology, people, and processes. And that is described now in a theory article that will be published about next month. Here we have the international sample, 43 different industries, 30 countries. It's female, male, but also LGBTQ. We have a good variety of professional experience, and most of the employments are permanent or regular. So that is a very good sample. We have a very detailed questionnaire on this. And the point is, I always say that Professor Marshall works for the Ministry of the Philippines. And when the minister says you should answer a questionnaire, then you answer the questionnaire. So that's why we have a lengthy questionnaire, but we send it to private companies. that are free to answer. And guess what? We got over 5,000 answers. This is really great. So here we put together the model, yeah, and it shows that the model works well with all the items. We have here 53 item scale with 11 subdimensions, and the Kronbach alpha reliabilities range between 0.81 and 9.8. So that's good. It looks like the construct validity of the model is rather good, and we can work on with that. And now we can do more publications. Here's more graphical slide. You see the process, technology, and the people, and the enlargement by the company environment. And like I said, this is just the start, just the basis for more research, and we encourage young researchers to work with us. There's lots of data we can work with. Then we come to the second topic, which is the theory on intuition at the workplace. And like I said, so far there's only a small part, but let me explain briefly what research gap we found here. You find lots of literature on rational decisions or deliberation and unconscious intuition. Yeah, there are, according to Bachura and Spa, different scales. We used a little bit slightly different ones, but they are very accordingly the planning, knowing, and spontaneous intuition. So that has been researched. However, the emotional intuition, yeah, has not been so much researched, except for the neurology. So in the medical area, they go very much into the emotional intuition, and they really look like for the gut feeling, yeah, the heart rate and the skin feeling and other emotions like anger and happiness. And it goes into very detail in neurology. They go to bacteria and how the bacteria goes into your colon, and from colon it goes into your head, and how does it stay in your head, the information. So this is what they all do. And also you have a lot of popular books. I mean, if you buy a book on intuition, what do you read? It's about gut feeling, yeah? But what is it at the essence? It's done in neurology. Now we have something very interesting, and that is, I don't see my own picture right now, but maybe you can see it on heuristics. That's a rather thick book by Professor Kiekerenser. He's a German professor and then taught, and Hartwig and also Kahneman published on that. But these are a type of intuition where you decide very fast. And if you decide very fast and you're in an emergency situation, you really need to know what you're doing. And that's why you have heuristics in your head. You know what you have to do. You cannot think about it, you just do it. You have trained it 100 times, so you can do it without even thinking about it. The problem here is there's only literature based on experiments, and it's very difficult to put this into a questionnaire. We have the slow unconscious thought theory by Professor Dixterhuis. These are also based on on experiments. And this intuition is rather interesting because it's a slow intuition. The other ones are that you decide relatively fast. Here you have 1 hour, 1 day, 1 week in between, and then you have to decide. So while you are doing other things, while you wait for the meeting or whatever decision that comes up, you have lots of unconscious thoughts, and this is what Dixterhuis was researching on. We were looking at that in particular for the managers, the top managers, and in one study that we already did, it showed that top managers have a slow and very good slow unconscious thought capability. Well, then we have the anticipation or precognition. That's a little bit different. It's a non-psychological instrument. A lot of literature about psi and the sheep goat scales. So it is about how you foresee the future. Yeah. We put this into the model, and actually it worked very well, even if some researchers say this is not really science. Well, but we expand the view here a little bit. So this is our model. Yeah. Here it's a rather short 21 questions selection, and we will do this in more depth in the future. However, with this model, we started to work, and it was off the sample with the 30 professors. It's the same methodology, and we measure the validity and reliability of the instrument. And the first one was what everybody does, the PID, the deliberation and intuition, yeah, rational choice theory and intuition. And as you can see in the tables or in the graph, it has a high validation, and so there is a very good explanation of the 2-factorial PID modified model. Then we looked at the rest of the intuition styles that I introduced, and we did the same. And as you can see, that's also a very robust, validated instrument. And then we put this, well, we tested the Kronbach alpha and all kinds of different things. And then we put this into a complete model with all intuition types. Well, and then what we have not been researched on in depth is now the supply chain approach. And this is what comes next, that we look at the different supply chains. And here we're also looking for researchers that are experienced in supply chain research. We're looking for psychologists that work with us on a new model of intuition. Right now, we have developed a prototype, very much in depth, also with lengthy questionnaire and test modules inside that we will now test in the city of Uelzen, where our university is. And then we will also do an international study on that. So you can expect more to come in the future. I hope I was able to show you a brief overview of our research program. You see that we have very robust instruments, and now we will further research. And like I said, we are 30 researchers around the globe, and in Africa, in Latin America, in Asia, and Europe, and we just welcome everyone to work together with us. So thank you very much for having me today, and maybe you have some questions.
Thank you so much, Professor, for sharing wonderful knowledge with all of us. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, so I'm moving on to the next resource person of this today's 2 days international conference. So this is none other than Dr. Ahmed. So welcome, sir. Let me introduce to all of you about Dr. Ahmed. Dr. Ahmed is an assistant professor, postgraduate center, management and science, University, Malaysia. He is a visiting professor and external examiner in Medan Academy of Tourism. He holds a doctoral degree in hospitality management under the title of Disaster and Emergency Planning and Preparedness from University of Malaysia. He worked as an assistant professor at M1 Applied University College, senior lecturer and research coordinator in School of Hospitality and Creative Arts Management and Science University. He was working for the hospitality industry for almost 17 years. He is also an active member of Scientific and Editorial Review Board on Hospitality Management, Hotel, Tourism, Events, Emergency Planning, Disaster Management, and Human Resource. His latest works have been published in various international journals, conference proceedings, books, and book chapters. So it's really a matter of huge proud that we have your presence on the first day of this 2 days international conference. I welcome you, Dr. Ahmed, once again. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Kiran ma'am, and thank
Thank you.
you for having me today. Thank you, Prof. Patel. Thank you, Prof. Ioana, and always, of course, enjoying Prof. Marcos' presentation throughout the conferences we are having together. So thank you so much. Please allow me to share my screen. Kiran ma'am, you can see my
Yeah,
my
it is visible. Yeah, we can
Okay.
see the screen.
All right.
Thanks.
So thank you so much for having me today. Actually, I was doing for the last few months, I was working with the undergraduate and postgraduate students about the journal publication and how they are trying to market their work. Actually, my research very much more than the emergency planning and the preparedness, because my work also with the postgraduate center. And just a small brief about my university, Management and Science University. We are in the heart of Malaysian capital in Selangor. It's a 39 years old university. We have around 15,000 students. Across Malaysia, we have 10 university colleges, and we are operated also in 8 offshore campuses in Sri Lanka, Maldives, China, Kazakhstan, United Arab Emirates, Indonesia, and we have many more to go. Our focus area with the medical science, with the social science, with education and fashion and hospitality, entrepreneurship, research. We're very much open for any kind of course of collaboration and in research, and also visiting professors and so external examiner and so on. As I mentioned, we are based on the latest time higher education. We are 601 across the world, and from the top 10 in Malaysia within the time higher education and the MQA in Malaysia. So just my presentation will be touched more toward our students who want to work on toward the publication of their work, because sometimes they have a very good ideas, they have a very good type of research when we are consulting with them, but they are having a problem onto where to choose their journal. So how to choose the right journal? Usually we are discussing that the journal, you need to target the journal before even you try to write your paper, and this one to enable them to tailor their writing to the journal, and also to see the format of the journal, and to pay a lot of attention for what we are as an editors and as a reviewer want to see later on, because we will be the one who will be accepting or rejecting their paper. Also the peer review services where they want to consider as a stamp of quality for the research community. We always working with Prof. Patel for the last I think 6-7 years in those also kind of peer review services. It's important to consider whether the journal is reputable and a trustworthy publisher, or and provide this very much important peer review services, which is will show the quality of the journal and the quality of the paper later on, because the other researchers, they want to cite your work and then they want to go for a very much reputable journal. So it's very much important to have those peer review services in mind when we are having our research. The relevance and the audience also, when we browse the published research, we always try to find the similar papers we are the one related to the paper we are writing or preparing. We want to check also if our peer and our guru, our masters in the same field, they are publishing in the same journal or no, because it's very much important to follow our seniors and our research beast, we can tell about them in those journals. And also it's very much helpful to review the editorial board, so to see who are the editorial board of the journals. Maybe it will be consist of the senior researcher in our field, which will be giving a very good impression and very good audience for our papers later on. The scope of the journal, a lot of our students, they are having a problem to search what is about the scope of the journal. They are writing something and then they will be trying to find journal which is out of the scope. And one of the very much easy and famous reason to reject the paper, it is out of the scope. Or even sometimes when your university wants you to recognize that publication for you, one of the reason also it is out of the scope of the journal. So it's very much important that your work will be fit within the scientific scope of the journal and the topic covered by your paper. And also the journal to be specialized journal, not just only a public information just only published there. They can, because some of the journals in the field, just they can publish anything, everything in every field, which is very much sad story for our students. Sometimes they just only want to publish without knowing about the scope of the journal, which is very much important to them. The reputation of the journal and the quality level, very much important to consider this reputation of the journal in the field, and also whether it is widely read by our peer, because later on we want to increase our citation, we want to increase our university citation, we want to have the impact factor, which it will measure the average citation of the paper of the journal, and it's one of the very much important factor now, also even when we wanted to try to have any ranking, any recognition also. So the high impact factor journal, of course, they have a very high rejection rate. So it's very much important to choose the suitable journal, other than wasting some few months in choosing the wrong journal or the out of the scope journal. Then later on we want to again searching about the other type of journal who are very much related to our work. The indexing also, we need to check whether the journal is indexed, and the major online database such as the Web of Science or Scopus. In the indexing also increase the visibility and the discoverability of your work, and maybe also show that this journal is trusted enough that you can rely on when you are writing your pieces or manuscript or and so on. The index also can find in the journal homepage, and also you can find it in the Web of Science or Scopus database, which will give you a very much reliable information about that journal, which you can trust that journal to be a source of your information when you are writing your research. So the language, of course, language requirement. Not all of us, the English language, our mother tongue language. So we need to make sure that the journal published in the usually published in English language, and also the author needs to maintain the English language requirement of the journal, and not to avoid rejecting the paper just only because of the poor English language. Sometimes it's necessary to show the paper to your peer who are maybe native English speaker or who are good in English, just to make it understandable. Because sometimes as a reviewer and also as an editor for journal, sometimes even me, I find it difficult to understand what the author tried to tell me for the paper. So if I cannot understand, so how the other people they can understand. So it's very much important to send it back to the author and make it easy understandable language when they want to publish the journal. And of course the cost very much important, because a lot of journals they are charging, especially for the open access. So it's very much important to know that we can get the our institution or maybe our funder or maybe any grant we are having to cover the charges if there is any charges for the journal publication. And because sometimes the students maybe they are having a limited financial capability, so they will be trying to find a funder, or maybe they can choose to have the closed access journal, not the open access. So the publication model, of course, the cost can be paid by different ways. Sometimes even when we want to review some papers in some journals, it will be closed access. Then we have to pay such amount. But our libraries always, they are having their subscription, and then we can avoid to pay sometimes $30, $40, $50 per paper to read. And some journals also, like they are having the per page charge, which also we need to get information about it when we want to try to publish, or if it is white and the black or color figures publication. So one of the most important final issues we try to discuss about the editorial comment. What happens to your article? Usually when you are submitting, sometimes the editor will maybe disreject or maybe reject after checking with the reviewer, maybe ask you to revise, maybe will back to you, of course, with the letter about what you have to do and what is the decision, the final decision of the paper. And of course, it will be like a checklist that you have to do. If it is reliable, if it is relevant to the journal, what is the quality of the paper, all of those things, the editor will let you know about what you have to do next with your paper. So you need to respond to the review comments, and when you respond to the review comments, some people they take it personally, and they like sometimes when they reply to us, like sometimes they reply in a different way, and our advice always to make it a respectful reply, and also respond fully for all the comments. Don't leave any comment empty, because they will look at all the comments and also explain in details whatever you are trying to do in your research, what is the correction needed and what is the correction you did, in order to make it acceptable to the journal, and make the reviewer and the editor accept it to go for the publication. So what we are looking as editors, the originality, the content, and the simplicity is very much important, that your paper to be original, not just copy and paste from the previous research, and the content is to be enough content to cover your story, and also very simple and can be understandable by different ways of readers across the globe. So the perfect, of course, the perfect article, of course, have contribution to the theory and the practically, and the implication, and also knowledge creation. If there is no novelty in your paper, so it will be like maybe some kind of waste of time for you, and it will be at the end rejected if there is no contribution in your paper. So with that, I would like to thank you so much for having me today, and thank you for the organizers for having me today. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Ahmed, for delivering such an illuminative presentation. That was needed, like very well mentioned about all the requirements of publishing a good paper. What are the like requirements, writing a good paper, journal, and all that. So that is very much needed. So thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm moving on to my next resource person on this today's international workshop. That is none other than Dr. S. Ganpati. So Dr. S. Ganpati is a professor at Anna University, Chennai from India. He has cleared PhD in environmental management and law. He holds his MBA degree and MPhil in management. He has total 30 years experience in the academic field. That's really a matter of proud, sir. He has guided 35 students for ME project work, guided 20 students for MS job across India. He has published almost 51 research papers, peer-reviewed journals in international and national journals. Research paper includes 8 international research papers. He has authored 22 books. So he has also conducted 10 sorry, he has 10 research scholars awarded doctorate under his guidance. Presently, 8 research scholars are pursuing PhD degree under him. So Dr. Parish is also a recipient of 16 awards at national as well as international level. Among that, 7 are at international level. So it's again a matter of proud to have such a great personality on the first day of this 2 days international conference. So would like to have words of wisdom from you, sir. Welcome you once again. Yeah, over to you, sir.
Yes, thank you very much. So I think I'm not capable to open my screen and something has been happened. Yes, 1 minute.
So yes.
I'm just trying to do what is happening.
Yeah, sir is sharing. We can see the screen, PPT as well.
Okay, but I'm not in a position to see at my place. This is what is being happening at this moment to me. Providing the opportunity to discuss about the current scenario, and this is the area under which me and my team members, including my some doctor and students, have been working on impact of cryptocurrency going to be happen to the developing and underdeveloped country in the Asian region. This is basically being one of the advancement we are trying to be make at this moment to make sure that things are being done in a proper way. Thank you very much to the Research Conscious Society, Scientific Research Association, and the Warsaw School of Life Science Poland to provide me the opportunity. I will take a few minutes to discuss, and our main objective is to talk from vital currency, how the monetary system have been changed over the century by the global citizen. As we all of know, we had a barter system in the past have been started, and barter system have basically said that you can just exchange the goods and commodities. And this has resulted into the later on there is a shortages have been happened, and the demand and supply between the two people cannot be managed. So they went towards the precious metals and coins as a by way of the exchange. Then we had came down to the paper currency and also resulted into the currency in the electronic format to be started like a debit note, so a debit card, credit card, and e-payment have been started. When the e-payment and everything have been started, it has resulted into some way the cryptocurrencies have been coming into picture. When we look towards up to the paper currency, the monetary authority of a particular country's central government or central bank was in a position to control over the demand and supply of currency. When we try to be looks towards the Eastern continental, and that too with respect to the developing countries and underdeveloped countries of Eastern continental, the problem is going to be happen some way. We are looking towards the cryptocurrency. If come into existence, it is going to be make the quite disturbances in the money supply in the economy. Maybe resulted into economy may not be working in the logical and the parallel way. And that's going to be make the effect for that. So sorry, you have to give me some time. I'm not being in a position to do in a different way. Okay, I will go back and starting it further. Okay, this is basically what I talked to you that this is the research which we have been doing, and my few research scholars have been working on it. And that is going to be resulted into the major advancements are to be happen. Now we have to understand that it is basically coming with respect to currency. How the monetary system have changed over the with the system, and so I just say that there is going to be the, when you change system, is going to be make the effect for all of us to do it from the Indian event. And when you exchange system have been started globally by the ancient coin cash, then we came to the digital cash where the debit note and credit card having come into picture, but those have been linked with the banking system. Second thing, the payment have been decided to be done through the banking system. So when we come up to this particular name of the electronic payment currency system, the central bank of the country was capable enough to manage the economy. When we try to be look towards the developing countries like India, where the people are going to be plans to go for the cryptocurrency. Then cryptocurrency is basically depends on the concept of cryptography, which is basically indicating that how the people are going to be work over the period of time. And that is basically the system we have to understand. So few researches are being undertaken. So what is cryptography? Is basically the art and science for achieving security by encoding the messages to make them non-readable. I think everyone knows that there are some issues that have been going on at this moment with Twitter and government of India. Is basically on the way that how the encoding of the messages are going to be started. This is being started in the year 1983 by the David Chong, and it's basically based on the physical analogy, which is supposed to prevent the manipulation and so. So when we try to be look towards the cryptography, there is going to be the readable messages there, which is going to be the passed to the process of systematic and well structured, resulted into cryptographic system, and that is going to be converted into the unreadable message. Resulted into no one is capable enough to know what is the value of the transaction and so. So there is only the possibility that there is some money may come to the certain country for the terrorism purpose, financial fraud, and so. So this is one of the very important parameter of the cryptography. Based on the cryptography, there is a cryptocurrency have been started. The cryptocurrency, we are going towards the digital signature. It means that there is going to be the digital signature is going to be used. And we have the very famous ups and downs have been seen in the prices of the blockchain, which is basically resulted into the Bitcoin. So I can say that the way the prices are being moved on the Bitcoin is basically giving the impact that how it is going to be signed and virtually in origin. So it is very difficult for developed country also to counterfeit the possible financial frauds. And those possible financial frauds are going to be play a very significant role. So cryptocurrency is basically process is being passed to the community members, society at large. Now society at large is going to be involved, and they will be creating the miners. Those miners are basically the cryptocurrency or blockchain controllers who are going to be transmit the currency from one account to the another account, and then the public participant will come. And as we know that public participants have made a very huge change in the blockchain across the globe in the last 1 month period, and it's recorded in a blockchain nature. Now what will happen here, I shown the nature. So whatever the transactions have been happened between the public participants and minors are going to be recorded in the blockchain nature. And that is going to be give them the individual account number. Now, when it is going to be the cryptocurrency, it is going to be the globalized environment. So when we say that when the economist Ricardo have said during his time, that movement of goods, commodities, and services across the globe is going to be improved upon the life of the citizens that is been coming to this particular neighbor. And that's going to be create a globalized environment support for us. Now, there are the more currencies are there. I'm also being, I say given the